In this lecture we will be taking a look at the first of the features of the embossing starter kit, that being line embossing. Line embossing basically is what it says. It takes a line or a path from a cutting file design and then traces it out with a special embossing tool onto your choice of substrate, whether that be a metal or a cardstock. You can select designs that are already in the machine, or if you've activated your kit in your Canvas Workspace account, there will be additional designs for you to choose from. If you haven't already created a Canvas Workspace account, it is worth doing so because with each kit there are often extra designs that will be unlocked when you register the kit with your account. New design files will be added in extra folders. So for this example I will be looking at the line embossing designs, and you can see some of those here. Do bear in mind that line embossing designs can also be drawn with your pen tools, so that's another creative use for these. I'm going to choose this snowflake design, I guess you'd call it, for this example, and I'll just move it a little bit into the mat. And then I would transfer it in the usual way, so either via a USB stick or via transferring it through the internet. To set up your mat, take the protective cover off of the standard mat, then place the foam sheet onto your cutting mat with the green side facing down. I had some extra packing material on the back of that, so you should just see the green foam with a shiny plastic overlay. This goes straight onto your mat and then you smooth it down. You'll then peel away the plastic covering that's on that foam sheet. It can be a little fiddly, but once you've got one corner up you should be able to then peel it all back. When that's been removed, place the metal sheet, which is housed between two plastic sheets, onto the foam pad. Make sure that it's stuck down all over. And now we'll move on to set up our cutting machines. As normal, we raise the screen to a height we can see, turn the power on, and then press the Home button, followed by the OK button that appears on screen. Open the tray at the front of the machine. Raise the lever on the side to number 2 and pull out the tray at the back of the machine. Next we need to make sure that the embossing feature is activated on our machines. So we go into Settings, scroll all the way to the end where it says Premium Functions, and then we can see if a feature is turned on or off. So at this time I had the piercing function turned on, but the embossing wasn't. So I can turn that on here. In fact, you can turn all of those features on and then they will all appear as relevant. Obviously you would need the tools and accessories in order to use them. To load the embossing tool, you'll take the tool carriage, unscrew the top and drop in the embossing tool so the arrows on the tool and the carriage line up, and then put the cap back on and screw it into place and put the whole thing into the blade carriage on the machine and lock it down with the grey lever. Your mat then gets loaded in exactly the same way as you normally do, so feed it in under the rollers and press the Load Mat button. Next we can go ahead and recall our design and emboss it. So because I transferred it via Wi-Fi, I tap on Retrieve Data and then the Wi-Fi icon so that I can see where to position my design. I am also scanning a preview of the mat as it is at this time. Once the scan has been completed, it will show you on screen where everything is on your mat. If the contrast is too much and you can't see the design, you can change that in the settings menu at this point. Now I'll just drag the design onto the actual area where the metal is. And for extra refinement, I can use the alignment tools. Next we go on to the output options, where we select the embossing feature. The settings on the instructions for metal sheets say a pressure of 0, so I need to reduce that. You can do a test at this point, however I went ahead and just pressed start. Because this process would take around 6 minutes, I have edited this to be a shorter section. So now you can see the embossed design finished there. When it comes to removing the metal sheet, it's easier to do this in stages. So I started by taking off the top plastic sheet. This reveals the metal, which should release very easily. Then I took off the base plastic sheet, and these blue tabs are very handy to help. Do keep these sheets, by the way, because they can be reused with other metal sheets or other substrates. And then finally I take off the foam sheet. Make sure to put the protective cover back onto that foam sheet so that you can come back to it in the future.